Alright, well, I just finished reading Volume 7 of Attack on Titan, and things definitely did not go the way the characters had planned, which I didn't expect it to, but I also didn't expect a few of the things that happened with the death of the team that Eren was in. I really, honestly did not see that coming. Now, I expected that we will get a lot of character deaths throughout this series. It's just the kind of series where that's going to happen. And I figured pretty much that the team that Eren was with wasn't going to stick around very long. I figured it would wind up being, him and Levi and Mikasa, Armin, the main characters, Jean and Reiner, which I famously keep confusing, but I'm getting better at not confusing them together. But they weren't in this volume very much, except in the beginning a little bit. But the plan, of course, to stop this giant female Titan, which they believe is actually some sort of spy. And I like kind of this aspect, and I kind of got the feeling that this was going to be the case because in the last volume, those two Titans that they had captured were mysteriously killed throughout the night, perhaps because they didn't want too much information about what the Titans can do and where they come from, all the experiments that they were doing on them to be at the disposal of humanity, and so somebody within the team probably disposed of them. But now they're thinking somebody in the team actually might either be this Titan, which it would have to be a female character, and I feel like the only ones that it could be, I mean, we have, I forget the scientist lady that was doing the experiments, but she seemed way too excited about actually doing it, so I don't think it would be her. She seems genuine. I could be completely wrong about that, but I don't think the spy would be her. And then we also have Potato Girl. I don't think it would be her either. Obviously, it's not Mikasa, because she was seen here with the Titan, and she's a great character. She's still my favorite character, and her kind of visceral, emotional reaction she has in this volume really kind of... It's the first time, probably, in the series that intense, emotional reaction really grabbed me, besides when... Jean remembered the death of one of the trainees, because that page turn, like he has that kind of flashback with that conversation, and then you turn and he's dead. So since then, this is probably the first time that I've had like that kind of like, that true attachment to what a character was feeling in that moment. But I am kind of going all over the place. The main thing that happened here was the intelligence of whoever this female Titan, and whether or not it is a spy in the group of Survey Corps, or whether or not it is somebody else. We get the idea that these Titans, they obviously are humans, but how much do they know? How infiltrated into humanity are they? And what are they, like, what's the plan? Like, why are they killing off humanity like this? And that's kind of the big question, why are they doing what they're doing? And of course, the whole point of this female Titan being here right now is to get Eren. So, in a way, maybe it would have been a good idea to have Eren get taken, because then Eren could kind of learn about what they're doing. I don't think her purpose was to kill Eren. Obviously, since she does wind up like eating him and not killing him, get spat back up later. So obviously, the intent here was not to kill. So it might have been a better idea to let Eren go with the Titan. But of course, in that kind of heightened emotional state like Mikasa was in, of course she's like thinking Eren's going to get eaten and killed and whatnot, so she's going to attack the Titan immediately. But again, going all over the place. So order of events is female Titan is roped up, hopefully taken so that they can kind of rip whatever human is controlling it out of her, and that does not go so well because she calls for all of the other Titans to come and basically just tear her apart so she can turn back into a human and then reform into a Titan once again. So I guess, I don't know if, because I feel like Eren, every time, he's kind of been like ripped out of the Titan to get him out of it, and the Titan body is kind of left behind. It's kind of like shedding a skin, sort of. So I'm wondering if the same thing is true for if you can't just kind of like go back and forth. So say this female Titan has more of a kind of understanding and training of this transformation thing. So can you not just go from Titan to human? Do you actually have to have the body destroyed before you can take the human part out of yourself? Because that would seem like it would be a very big flaw in this Titan transformation situation, because then you're just stuck in this Titan form until your body is destroyed or somebody rips you out. So that seems like quite the flaw. But, and in that flaw, she has to call all these other Titans to basically rip her apart so that she can kind of respawn. And once she respawns, like I said, she takes out almost the entire team of Levi's. Other than Levi himself, the commander, and Aaron, and of course the other teams that are in the forest as well. And I was expecting them to die, like I said, but I just didn't expect them to die this soon. So the fact that they did, and they kind of built up this whole relationship bond, like, you have to trust us, and Aaron trusting in his team, and, you know, like, we can handle this, and then, of course, they can. It's the kind of brutal truth and reality. Like, you never know what could happen in a situation in war, and even though this isn't the kind of war where it's like an army versus another army, you know, it's humans versus monsters, kaiju, you know, in a way. It's still a war. It's still a war zone. And as much as you want to pre-plan, or as trained as you are, there are factors that you can never possibly comprehend before the actual battle takes place. There's always external factors, external forces at play. And that's what happens here. So no matter how skilled, how well they work as a unit, you know, they didn't even have to talk to each other to know their strategy, what they were trying to do. And still it was to no avail, which is kind of, in a twisted way, what I wanted out of this series. I want that kind of sense of hopelessness. I want that sense that these larger-than-life creatures are just immensely powerful, and humanity is so much of an underdog. That's kind of what makes it thrilling, in a way, right? And you weren't attached enough to them to where, I mean, their deaths really, really affected you, because we only really spent one volume with them previously. Because, like I said, I didn't expect them to die this soon. So there was that. And then, you know, Aaron thinking to himself, because he has this kind of conflicting idea of, you know, he should have trusted in the chain of command, he should have trusted his team, but then at the same time, he wanted to turn into his Titan form from the get-go, but he didn't, because he thought it would be the better course of action to trust his team. And once again, that just kind of proves to show that there really is no right or wrong answer, because you are in a war zone. So would it have been right for him to turn to a Titan from the start? Who knows? Something else unexpected could have happened, and everybody could have died in that instance. He could have died. You know, you don't know. And I think that's kind of the message that's being portrayed here, is that, like, there are so many factors that you can't consider, that there is no right choice, there is no wrong choice. But of course he feels that kind of guilt. He feels like, I could have done this from the start and maybe protected them, and so that's going to play a part into his character moving forward, I'm sure. And him turning into a Titan didn't really do much. Unfortunately, there was a battle that ensued, but the female Titan was able to basically rip him out, swallow him, and then that's when Mikasa went crazy, and she saw that happen, and that's where I felt that kind of emotion for her, going after him. And I liked her kind of teaming up with Levi. It's the first time we've really seen those two interact, because he didn't really know who she was. He like recognized her from the courthouse meeting, you know, of being Aaron's friend, but he doesn't really know her. And she's, you know, probably the most like naturally gifted, skilled person out there is with this, and he's you know, the absolute master at killing Titans. So it was kind of cool seeing these two. They're two masters of their craft, but they come from very different backgrounds. Or, of course, we don't really know Levi's background, but I'm just imagining him as like a structured military person who went through all the training, went through the battles, got the experience, and became the man that he is, whereas Mikasa kind of had this natural skill from the get-go, where she just kind of embraced that kind of you know, fight or die aspect because of what happened to her with her past, with her parents and everything. So there was that, and I like that combo, and they did manage to get Aaron free, but the female Titan is still on the loose. And then, of course, we have that kind of moment where they all come back to the main city inside the gates, and Aaron kind of sees this parallel in these two children that look at him, look at the Survey Corps, like, you know, the heroes are back, they're heroes, you know, because that's how they're built up in society. And I think that has a lot of parallels too with real life. And I'm not saying that military people aren't heroes. I'm just saying that kind of like, you don't understand like the heavy shit that they go through, and that there's a lot of times there's nothing heroic about it. You know, it's really just, we tried to survive, and some of us did and some of us didn't. And you know, children looking at that as heroic when really it's tragic. It shouldn't have to happen. It shouldn't have to be a thing. There shouldn't even have to be this military force to begin with, you know. But the sad reality is that there is, and this is the result. And so Aaron has seen both sides now. You know, he's been that child looking up to them, and now he's experienced being in the shit in the field, and he feels that kind of, you know, why are they praising me? Like, we didn't really accomplish anything. We just lost soldiers, and it's that kind of sad feeling. So where it's going to go from here, I'm not sure. If the female Titan's still out there, I'm sure she will probably wind up being a prime antagonist, not just a one-time thing. Especially if it is a spy, if it is somebody in the group, or if it is somebody that exists within the town or the city, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's huge. Humanity, the world of humanity. So if her prime target is still Eren, then she will probably still come after him, and perhaps she'll turn into, we'll see who she is as a human character, we'll see which one she is, and hopefully get some more characterization out of her, so that would be cool to see also. They didn't make it to the basement. A goddamn basement. It's going to be the bane of my existence. And other than that, we'll see where it goes from here. I'm not sure. Other than that, I don't really have any more theories. Because if they're back in town, back in society, that kind of leads away from the basement stuff, which is going to lead away from, what was the Titan juice that Eren's dad injected into him, and, who was the colossal Titan, who was the female Titan, all these mysteries, and not really much solved yet, but there's still a ways to go. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this video, this review. Let me know if you like it. Comment down below. Please give it a like, as it does really help me out. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you for those of you that have watched this far, also liked the video, also subscribed. Very, very cool. Almost 17,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Super excited about that. I do not take it for granted whatsoever. So other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you in the next video.